because some of y'all weird, and some of y'all don't even want parents. So feel free to answer the question in the chat as we go throughout this conversation. I'm gonna ask, would you rather be an orphan, or would you rather have parents? As I was taking my notes, as I was taking my notes, a message came. And so the purpose, no sound. Can y'all not hear me? One, if y'all can hear me. Two, if y'all can't hear me. Because I wouldn't know what to do if y'all can't hear me. Peace. Am I being heard? One, you can hear me? Oh, okay. All right, cool. I was a little worried. All right, cool. So the question throughout this build that I really want you to think about is, would you rather be an orphan, or would you rather have parents? This topic is going to be on the mind, and the purpose of this video is to really help you. Now, if you're not open to receiving help, if you feel like you don't need help, if everything is perfect in your life, then congratulations, you understand? But in the course of my spiritual journey and what I've learned about receiving and giving is that information should be shared freely, easily, generously, because the energy that you put out into the universe, it comes to you back times 10. So I'm really intentful for putting out positive understanding, innerstanding, as well as outerstanding. The topic of conversation is the mind. And feel free to join me. This is a 50-day in review of A Course in Miracles that I'm actually referencing, that these thoughts have triggered. I honestly think that I started my spiritual journey with A Course in Miracles, and this year I've actually worked A Course in Miracles daily, first thing in the morning, and I've actually lived in a space of miracles every single day. Every single day I'm excited about the day because I understand my mind. And each day is a day to heal. Each day is a day to get closer. Each day is a day to get better, because what we're working with is our mind and the power of the mind. So when you look at masculine energy, look at it as the seen world. And when you look at feminine energy, look at it as the unseen world. When you think of your mind, you must journal this. Is your mind an orphan, or does your mind have parents? Is your mind connected to source? The interesting thing about Luke chapter 17, verse 20, verse 21, when they reference the kingdom is within you, they never say that the kingdom is within you sometimes. When you're having a bad day, the kingdom is outside of you somewhere. When a negative situation occurs, the kingdom is, around the corner somewhere. The kingdom is within you at all times. When you have an orphan mind, since your mind is so powerful, this is so powerful to even think about, you can actually tell yourself that you are alone and separated within your mind. Or you can simply accept that your mind is a child of a more powerful mind, and your willingness to accept this connection to source is your gateway to all problems. But I would say the beauty, but it's not the beauty. The ugliness of separated thoughts is that they begin to complex and complicate the matrix. You even complicate your spirituality. You got to pay money for a course to figure out the work that you have to do when you don't even know who you are. You're not the body. You are consciousness. When you look at your consciousness as just simply one consciousness, then your consciousness, your mind, is an orphaned mind. And whatever you manifest, whatever you achieve, you're still an orphan. And the deeper reality is that you're not an orphan. You just tell yourself that because you are powerful mentally. When you look at chaos and confusion and madness in the world, this is just a reflection of your separate mind and what you see within your separateness. You are 150% consciousness. You are nothing of the body. Until you're able to identify as a spiritual being, have a human experience, you will fail. You're not a man. You're not a woman. You are a mind. A mind is not a man. A mind is not a woman. A mind doesn't have body parts. A mind doesn't have a dick. A mind doesn't have a pussy. A mind is something much more evolved. Think about masculine energy as being logical. But before you say masculine energy and equate it to man rather, equate masculine to logical. What's logical? A conclusion. If I put A plus B, that will equal C. Then you look at your feminine mind as negative. Purely negative. Because your feminine mind is much powerful than your masculine mind, because if you say 1 plus 1 equals 2, but then your feminine mind eats the 2, that's not logical at all. But yet and still you have nothing. There are men who have went to college. There are women who have went to college, got degrees, did everything right, fucked with one girl, ended up dead, ended up in fucking homeless shelters. Because feminine energy, not female. Feminine energy is negative. Feminine energy is more powerful than logic. But feminine energy is your mother. But when you are not connected to your mother, you are an orphan. Your mind is an orphan, and you look for every complicated, complex structure to make your life right. Some of you are so separate that you think that there's nothing that make your life better. That's an orphan mind. The moment that you connect to source, your problems will erase. There's two different variations of journaling. There's the journaling where you're not connected and you're separate. You can write for years and years and years and won't nothing manifest for you. The idea of connecting your mind to source through journaling, that's a whole nother level of intention. That's doing a rite. That is doing a ritual. That's why write, W-R-I-T-E, and write, R-I-T-E, are the same phonetically. That you can say them together. The W is silent. W for the fucking win. Meaning that the harder, complex shit that y'all doing, you figuring that it's some work that you need to do. You figuring, I heard some shit where a person was in a relationship, got a reading from somebody and said that, you know, you need to work on your career and fuck that relationship. That's just something to say. That is confirming your bias, right? As opposed to, who gives a fuck if you leave the nigga or do spiritual work? You could be a fucking hula hooper for the rest of your life. The fucking earth gonna still rotate at a 23.5 degree tilt. What I'm saying is, you cannot be acting like these psychics and these spiritual people is telling you stuff. They, if you really look at them, they just look like crazy motherfuckers. What do y'all know about hag energy? What do y'all know about Crohn's? What do y'all know about energy vampires? Huh? Nothing? So what do they look like? How do they appear? What's their MO? Generally beating your ears up, and as you observe, it feels good, and in that transference of feeling good energy, they absorb all your vital and solar power energy, because you don't know who you are. You just figuring out what you can do. And if you only figuring out what you can do, I can show you a million different things that you can fucking do. And at the end of the day, maybe you just need to eat some fucking pussy. And that's your spiritual work. To fucking eat pussy all day. Right? Maybe you're a professional gooch licker, right? Maybe your soul is calling you to eat gooch. Whatever you decide, the earth will rotate at a 23.5 degree tilt. Funeral homes gonna be open, hospitals gonna be open, police gonna be riding around with their sirens. Nobody gives a fuck about your decisions. Why do you? You only give a fuck about your decisions because your mind is an orphan. You out here, everybody orphans. Imagine a world full of orphans. Nobody knows who their parents are. When they say God the Father, you niggas is so deep in your ignorance, in your conscious CIA programming, through the conscious community, in these hag ass bitches, right, that steal your energy every time you look up, because all they doing is saying the same shit they said 5 fucking years ago. The same exact verbiage, word for word, is nothing but spell work and witchcraft and CIA programming. So once your mind gets programmed, I'm spiritual, and then in the reality, you an orphan. You a spiritual orphan around a whole bunch of other spiritual orphans. And at the same time, nothing's really working out for you the way that you want it to work out for you. And at the same time, you have the opportunity to steal your mind. At the same time, you have the opportunity to steal your mind and relax and simply connect to who you are as source. The things that you think about, whatever you choose to think about, is fucked up and wrong. Why am I saying that? Because there is only one thought. I'm connected to source, and then everything else is a false thought. Okay? All you have to do is be at peace and at one with your creator mind, the mind that you possess. You get this through relaxation, chakra work, yoga. Yoga means to unionize the ego and the higher self. But if you getting your money right, that's not yoga. If you swiping left on Tinder, that's not yoga. If you starting your business, your online business, that is not yoga. If you stressing about bullshit, about baby daddies, about boyfriends, I'm 28, I don't got no boyfriend, that is not yoga. I don't got no money, that is not yoga. What is your purpose? Your purpose is not found in a career. Because the moment you choose a career, what if the people fire you? What if you a fucking hand model and your fucking hands get chopped off? Do you no longer have a purpose? There is no purpose. There is no meaning. There is only your mind. And then the complex bullshit that you give your mind by listening to other orphans. I'm telling you, it's very simple. You are not the body. You are housed in the body. You are consciousness. Your job is to think correctly. When you are challenged, you decide and you abide. What is that? You abide within your body. You never die. Arjuna was talking to Krishna in the Rig Veda. He said, I don't want to fight. He said, nobody is fighting. He said, I don't want to die. He said, nobody is dying. He said, I don't want to hurt nobody. Nobody is being hurt. The shit that humans do, war, fear, fighting, arguing, gossiping, entertainment, All of that shit that y'all put value on, it don't mean nothing. If a nigga put out a sex tape, the earth rotate at 23.5 degree tilt, and they might even get $1 million from fucking Vivid Entertainment while they at it. Your job is to love your mind. Your mind is a place of fear and turmoil. Your mind. Fuck the ghetto. Fuck the hood. Fuck your home. Fuck your relationships. Fuck everything else. Your mind is fucking Baghdad, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Black Ops, nigga. You thinking about shit that don't even matter. But you righteous in your title or in your dignification or in your certificate or your degree or whatever the fuck validates your idiocracy of being separated and not acknowledging the fact that I am an orphan within mind. I'm making my life so much harder by complicating this. My existence is a miracle. Before I was. Before you said, hey, I am somebody, your ass was shitting on people, smacking people in the face, drooling in your mama's mouth on bullshit. You wasn't saying none of that hot shit. You was getting catered to, taken care of, because all you did was decide and abide. And everything was taken care of. Same rules apply. My mind, my God. My mind, my God. If you have negative thoughts, I don't care how good you look. I don't care how much money you manifest. Your mind is filled with fear. You're only going to fuck with me until the fear shows up and now you're like fucking triggered or some bullshit. But the whole time that you was thinking about fear, what could you have been doing? Creating positive energy between divine masculine and divine feminine. But maybe I'm just not a good enough man for you, sis, for you to even pour love into me. I don't make enough money. I don't look good enough, huh, sis? My 360s ain't hitting. They ain't spinning deep enough for you. You have no random thoughts. You have no neutral thoughts. You have no passive thoughts. Why? Why don't you have any neutral thoughts? Why don't you have any random bullshit ass thoughts? Because every single one of your thoughts, every single one is a motherfucking powerhouse. It's a fucking Mike Tyson left hook when you looking to the right and you ain't even paying attention and that nigga just cold cock you in the fucking jaw. That's one thought. Imagine if you had intentional thoughts towards your partner. Wait a second. Why you divvying up your shit? You gotta focus on your job, your career and your driving job, your business. That's a lot of... You get 15 hours in a day, give or take. 5 of those hours, chalk it up to maintenance, driving, so forth and so on. So you got 10 hours. Most of us work for 8 hours. That give you 2 hours of free time to choose what the fuck you gonna do. You don't got a lot of time to not be intentional, is my point. Those 2 hours should be, like, if you don't have 2 hours of focusing on your destiny and your intentions, you fooling yourself because you think you got all of this time, and really your window of opportunity is extremely small if you really think about it. To simplify everything that you could possibly go through, my mind, my God. My God, my mind. I have no neutral thoughts. Every single thought I have is a Evander Holyfield right jab to the fucking nuts. Because that's why Mike Tyson bit him. He kept hitting him in the balls. Y'all didn't see that part. Y'all just had Mike Tyson looking crazy. He kept hitting him in the balls. What the fuck you want me to do? I'll bite his ass too. I'd have bit him in the neck. Fuck the ear. Hit me in my nuts, nigga. Arr. That's the next thing. When you can't win the fight, you start biting a nigga, you get a nigga up off of you fast. You back in the days, fight over at that point. Nigga be hitting you with some haymakers, bite the shit out of him. Y'all was the ones biting motherfuckers too. That's why it's funny. No. But you have a very powerful mind. Everything that you think should be connected to an ending result. So when you have an orphaned mind or a separate mind, you would be thinking like, what if somebody come in here and shoot us all, right? What if my baby daddy ain't shit? Like, you just have all of these thoughts that, say for instance, if they was to manifest, you would be on Action 19 News or something. Like, why would you intend that for yourself? But you got to understand that when you have an orphaned mind, you don't have a mom, you don't have a dad, you don't have a home, right? All you can think about is being vulnerable and being fucked up. It's the result. So you don't change it. You don't alter it. You can't help it. You just start thinking of just crazy shit. Just crazy shit. What if a giraffe just come through my window and just bite the shit out of me? Like, you don't even live in Africa. Like, why would you think that? It's just my mind just come with all these types of fantasies. And you don't think that affects your relationships with people? You don't think that you don't think that you're loving the person that you with at the deepest level because you're having all of these negative thoughts and they don't know that you having these negative thoughts, but yet and still, like, y'all gotta understand, when you treating a nigga like he not in the fucking paradise, it's not the man's fault. It's all on you. Fellas, you gotta understand, if you're not loving your wife with if she don't feel like the most loved woman in the whole fucking planet, you doing this shit wrong. And it's not her fault. It's your fault. It's not his fault. It's your fault. Your mind is an orphan mind. You fear shit. Not because he a bad person. Not because she's a bad person. Because you are allowing the fear to complicate your fucking life. You are allowing your triggers to complicate your life. You're allowing your fantasies to complicate your life. How do you simplify it? My mind is my God. Why am I thinking about things that are not here that I don't want to happen? How can I better utilize my time? By pouring into shit that I want to happen. And stop letting them fucking negative thoughts ride out into the fucking sunset like they fucking John Wayne or some shit. Fuck that shit. If you don't want it to happen, your ass should not be thinking about it. And if you don't know how to stop it, you got to understand that your mind is not an orphan. Your mind is deeply connected to the cosmos. Your mind can heal all types of shit. And a lot of things, what we be like, well, sometimes we can lose our mind in a space where we might make a decision that reduces our ego for the sake of the whole, or, sometimes we might just fuck up completely. And the only way that we know what's happening is if we look around us. Sometimes all you got to do is look around you to make a valid decision of the decision making that you've been making. If you look at your nigga and he an ain't shit nigga, and you look at your apartment and it's a dirty ass apartment, and you look at your job and it's a bullshit ass job, you can start to look at the world like the world is fucked up, right? But that's your decision making. Who told you to fuck niggas for free? Who told you to be, squeeze first, ask questions last out here in these streets? Just because you don't got no guidance, just because you an orphan, don't make the earth a bad place. You got to know where to start. If a motherfucker can't tell you where to start, how the fuck they gonna tell you where to end? Or how they going to engage with you? We all connected at the mind. Thus, when we think that we are the exception to the rule, we are separate. We are all connected. Every thought is connected. Every thought you put out into the universe, if you don't experience it, somebody else is experiencing it. So you have to be very careful. I put a joke on my Facebook, but it's some real shit. Y'all might see a guy y'all like, and instead of saying, hey, guy, I like you. You're very hot to me and sexy. I want to get to know you. Can I take you out to eat? I really like you, guy. You don't do that. You go to watch a video and you do some shit. You do some conjure shit. You get some candles and shit. 6 months later, the dude you doing the spell on that you had a picture of that you downloaded off of Facebook or IG or Snapchat, you know you ain't supposed to screenshot that shit. You do it anyway. Get you a little printout from Office Max. Do a little ritual and shit. Put love spell energy over the nigga. 6 months later, you see him married with children, living the good life. You get mad at that. But the reality is, you got a career. You got a career, my girl. You got a career at this shit. You better start setting people up and making people happy. You got a career. Maybe that man wasn't for you. So, when you do a love spell for somebody, 10 times out of 10 it's going to work. Just might not work for you. Okay? I'm finishing up. Your mind is always going to tell you every step, every second of the way, if you are separated, if you are disconnected, or if everything is Gucci. Your mind. This is what we call peace of mind. This is what we call bliss. And trying to get it through external means, whatever, I don't care if it's spiritual. I don't care if motherfuckers told you that this is the thing that you need to be doing out here in these streets. If you trying to become something that is within your mind, you're going to be fucked up, you're going to be out of money, and you're going to be real mad at the end of the day. But really, you need to be mad at yourself for acting like a motherfucker could actually help you get to the place that you need to get to, which is within your mind, and understanding your mind and your thoughts and your connectedness and how much you can help people. There is no better feeling in this world than helping people. And if you really want to get a bag, you figure out a way to help people. What's the best way to help people? To be available. How do you become available? By having clean mental health. Because fucked up mental health, you're not available if you're not available to yourself. If you have mood differentiations throughout the days and the months and the weeks, how is anybody going to depend on you at an emotional level? And you always going to be out of your shit, out of your wits, when mentally you're not connected to source. I'm trying to show you something very clear, very powerful. But then again, it's those that want to complicate things and make this situation a lot different. So throughout the day, the challenge over the first 50 days of the year has been to remind. So remember your mind. Remember your mind, because you are the mind, because Tahuti told us that the mind is all. Hey, I'ma just say, if you just concerned with the body and the vessel and what it look like and what it don't look like, you're not ready yet. You still wearing diapers. You might piss on yourself. You're not ready yet. The only way you show up in your true form and making sure that the situation is going to be successful is if you show up as an elevated, advanced being, a spiritual being that's outside of gender, that's outside of race, that's outside of class, connected to the goddess, a spiritual being having a human experience. The moment you realize this, the moment you step into this, any trouble that you having gets washed and wiped away. I got one more thing to say before I get off this live. One more thing to say and I'm off it. A lot of times when you look at your negative feelings, emotions, mentalities, whatever you call it, those are entities that have attached to your aura the times where you was depressed, sad, and at a low vibratory state. So all of the time you lash out, all of the times you have mental issues, negative experiences in the mind, those are entities that are attached to you. Some of these entities are attached very deep. Some of you do things that you don't want to do and you can't communicate them because you're so ashamed of them because the entity is attached to you. How entities get attached to people because mentally we are orphans and we're looking for somebody. And these demons, they show up in your life when you're at your lowest and they say, let me lift you up. Let me make your life better. Let me make it better for you. You need money? I'll give you money. You need dick? I'll give you dick. You need pussy? I'll give you pussy. You want a successful rap career? I'll give you that. Just sign this little contract, right? And your soul is gone. Like that. Gone. And you don't even realize it. But you be doing it when you be really wishing for some shit. How you really wishing for some shit, that's hard and that's complicated. It's 50-50. You don't gotta wish for nothing because you already connected to the infinite. All you gotta do is learn how to pour into people because it's nothing better than helping people. It's nothing more prosperous. The companies that's making the most money are the companies that are helping the most people. Duh. You got to figure out how you going to help people in a real way that they might tell their mama. I got a Brazilian wax so good, I got to tell my mama about it. You helping people have clean shaven vaginas. You helping people, you going to get to the